welcome to the Python. Here we got a new challenge from the LeetCode for this 28th October. Uh, the problem is 2501. Longest square straight in an array. Uh, Basically here, if you read the description, we do you will get the problem, and basically here we will receive an array of numbers, a list of numbers, and then we need to return the most largest uh, sublist here of squares. For example, let's get this first example here. Is the 4, 3, 6, 16, 8, and 2. So basically here we have subsets of squares like this. Sub 1, let's call sub 1 should be the 2, and 2 multiplied by 2 squared is 4. 4 multiplied by 4 is 16. Also, this another sum 2 is 3, right? And 3 multiplied by 3 is 9. But 9 is not in the nums. Then we got sub 2 is only with 3, right? This sum 3 will be 6. And since uh, 6 multiplied by 6 is 36, and is not in the list, we also have a sub 3 only with 6, and the same thing with the last one, 8, because 8 multiplied by 8 is 64, right? And the 3 is 9. Just put here 3 multiplied by 3 is 9. All right. The issue here is because we got an ordered list. Then, first of all, we can sort this list with nums.sort, and then the result should be 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, and 16. Fine. All right. If you make an iteration inside the nums sorted, we can assume the first one value, in this case 2, should be in a subset, and is the base value of the subset. And then we can check if we can multiply nested values until we found a value that is not in the nums array. For example, in the first time we can check in the first time we got this number 0, the nums position 0 is the 2, nums position 0 is 2, right? Then we check 2 multiplied by 2, it is 4, is in nums. If so, we can assume the 4 also should be added to the subset of 2, right? And we also check 4 multiplied by 4, it is 16, is in nums. If so, the same approach. We add the 16 to the subset in the sub 1. So basically, when we found 16 multiplied by 16, I really don't remember that. Let me check here. 16 multiplied by 16 is 200 and 256. All right, is in nums? The answer is no, right? Yes and yes, but in this case the answer is no, it's false. Then when we found a value that is not in the nums, we can check with the following error. We started by 2, now we will check for 3, and the same thing for the nested one, for the next ones. But sometimes we will also receive a value that is also added to a previous subset. For example, when we cover the tree, we will check the values of the tree, and we will build this subset here. Then after 3, the value is 4, but when we check the 4, we didn't need to check the squared values for that, because the 4 value was already added to the subset 1. Then we can only skip that. All right, so let's right now put here our solution. First of all, we will sort that's number, and I will add here a set nums column variable here, a set that will only help us with the values inside the nums, because we will need to check sometimes 4 is in nums, 16 is in nums, 256 is in nums. It is more depends more complexity, is more complexity by checking in a list than in a set. Then we will check here in a set instead directly on the list. All right, and also we will add another set here that will receive the already checked values. For example, when we check the 2, we also check 4 and 16, and then we can add those values to the checked set, because when we pass for the 4, we can only skip that. And also we can start our result as an integer as 0. Alright, let's cover our list with a little for x in nums. We can only check first if the x was already processed or checked. If so, we can just continue. If not, we can sum how much values was squared starting by n, because we got the x on the nums, and also you sum for the next values, right? And we will increment this value here, and also we had to add the current x to the checked set. All right, let's call x, the squared current x here. Yeah, that means is oh, no. Yeah. uh, and while these squared values is inside the nums, we need to make an iteration here. So basically, while the squared value is in set nums, because we are checking in our set instead nums directly to load the complexity, right? Then we also add that to the checked values to skip in the future, and also we increment our integer value there with 1, and we just multiply the current value to itself. It means um, x xx multiplied by xs, the same thing. All right, after pass of all of this process here, we can just check if the sum is carried here, x squares, is greater than the current result, right? If so, the result receives the x squares. And finally, you can return that. Um, we can just make a little ternary here, because if the result is uh, less than 1, we need to, less than or equal to 1, we need to return -1 here as required. Re Return the length of the longest square strip in nums, or return -1 if there is no square strip. So basically here we need to return the result if result is greater than 1, else -1. All right. By submitting this one, oh, we get an error here because set num is not defined. Let's check what we did. It. We call it here some nums. It's set nums. I'm not sure from where I got some nums. All right, right now it's correct. By submitting this one, uh, we will got a solution, great solution here, 109 milliseconds, and that's 64. Let's check the complexity. The complexity is O n ln L n log n. Yeah. All right. Thank you for watching. And if you have a different solution, please share in the comments, and please subscribe and like. Thank you.